We all have a divine feminine and divine masculine energies within us. But the thing is, if our divine masculine is out of balance, actually if both of them are out of balance, it can cause a lot of disharmony and misalignment. And today in this video, I want to talk a little bit more about the divine masculine, the signs of an out of balance divine masculine, because if your divine masculine is out of balance, it can cause a lot of problems in your life where you are misaligned to yourself, to your life, to everything that you do. And it can cause a lot of disharmony within yourself because your divine masculine energies is simply out of balance. Now, yes, we do have the divine feminine and the divine masculine, which both need to be in balance, but also within just each of the individual energies. And in today's video, the divine masculine is the topic. If the divine masculine is out of balance, that also creates a disharmony. So we need to become aware of when the divine masculine is out of balance so we can do something about to get back into balance. So I want to share with you those 6 signs that your divine masculine is out of balance so you can have that awareness of what you may want to focus on to get back into balance. The first sign that your divine masculine is out of balance is that you're very ego driven, where you're really focusing a lot on working really, really hard, just getting the stuff done. You're doing the things you think you should do, no matter if it feels in alignment or out of alignment, or if it's the right or the wrong thing. You're just following what you think you should do, or you're actually listening more to outside sources, whether it's mentors, coaches, gurus, teachers, or anything like that, or even just what you're hearing online. You're listening more to them rather than you really following your own inner guidance and standing in alignment. So if you're noticing that you're very ego driven in many areas or in different areas, or where you really follow more what you think you should do rather than what you feel guided and called to do, that is a good sign that your divine masculine is actually out of balance. Then the second sign is that you actually take things way too personal, that everything just can trigger you and set you off. If someone says something to you or critiques you or whatnot, it kind of pushes your buttons. It triggers you. That is also a sign that your divine masculine is out of balance, because a balanced divine masculine can take criticism and appreciates that, because that gives you then that information. Okay, I may need to change something, I may need to tweak something. But out of balance divine masculine is very easily triggered and takes things way too personal. Also, when things really don't go as you had planned, that too can set you then off, where you get angry and frustrated and really just triggered by things not working the way you want. Which brings me to the third misalignment here, which kind of leads into that, is like having that grip of control. You need to, it's like the sense that you need to know that you are in control. You need to know all the steps and how everything is going to play out. And if you feel out of control, like you are not in control, you have no control over a situation or a person or anything like that, that then too can cause you to feel very triggered, where you then maybe even work even harder, or you really become more aggressive towards really trying to stay in control. And when I'm talking about aggressive, I'm not saying that you're then being aggressive towards other people, but you're just more aggressively trying to be in control, like you're trying to do it yourself because no one else can do it better than you, and things like that, where you're trying to make it happen on your own. There's more of that aggressive energy behind trying to hold that grip on the control. It's also very hard for you to then to really surrender your desires, the things you want to manifest, and just situations, just to surrender to that higher power. It's very hard for you because surrendering and being in control are two completely different things. And for an out of balance, a divine masculine, the surrendering part becomes very, very, very challenging, because, well, when you're surrendering, you're not in control, because then you have to trust in a higher power that everything is going to work out, that you have to trust that it's going to work out no matter what. And an out of balance divine masculine is simply not able to do that, because they need to be in control of a situation. They need to know exactly how things are going to go and really be in control of the outcome. Then the fourth sign is that they also tend to have a lot of doubts, a lot of worries that actually slows them down. They are really stuck in this whole procrastination and perfectionism kind of mode, because they may procrastinate because they need to know exactly how it's going to turn out. So here it goes back to that grip of control, right? Because if they're not sure that what they're doing is going to produce a certain result or, turn out the way they want, They may procrastinate on getting things done, or they're working so hard on it, always trying to perfect it before they actually, put it out there, or really release it or finish it up. So procrastination and perfectionism really goes hand in hand with the doubt and the worry and trying to be in control. So a divine masculine that is out of balance often has that doubt. But then on the contrary, a divine masculine that is balanced, they're just getting things done. They're really in flow. They're not focusing on getting it perfect, as long as it's good enough to release, to let go, to finish it, because then they know they can always tweak it later, but they're not holding on to it until it's perfect, because things are never perfect. Because perfect has a different meaning for different people, right? So if you're stuck with perfectionism, if I were to look at it, I would say, oh, this is perfect. But you say, no, it's never good enough. It's never perfect, right? So here, just know, if you're struggling with perfectionism and a lot of doubt and procrastination, that too is a good sign that your divine masculine is actually out of balance. Then the fifth sign is that you're very critical. The out of balance divine masculine is very critical towards themselves and also towards others, where they're really looking for the little things, that they're just kind of nitpicking on everything about their own maybe appearance, their own who they are, how they feel about themselves, and of course also others. They're seeing the fault in others more so than the good. They're always looking for the things that they don't like about other people. They also see more the bad and the not so good and even the worst situations, rather than the good things, the possibility, the opportunities. And the sixth and final sign I want to share with you is that an out of balance divine masculine also has a limited view of what's truly possible for them, because they simply can't grasp what more is possible, because that goes into surrendering, where you're surrendering into that higher power, that so much more is possible. They can't really grasp it from a mental mind, because they're going about everything from a mental state, not from a heart-centered, deeply connected, soul-aligned state. They're really going based on what they think they can do. And here it also kind of goes hand in hand with the whole control, being in control, being, perfectionist and stuff. When it comes to what's truly possible, well, they have a very limited view, because it goes beyond their horizon of understanding of what's really possible, what they can do on their own. Because like I said, it would require them to surrender, to let go, to dream bigger and those type of things. And it simply is not in alignment with the control they need to feel, they need to have about a situation. So here are the 6 common signs of an out of balance divine masculine. Now, this can range on different scales. It can be just a slight out of balance, where you're noticing that some of those things resonate with you, but not very extensively, not very intensively. That's perfectly fine. But then you may also notice that certain areas you're really resonating with a lot. So these signs that I just shared with you, they're just a few, just the 6 most common that I felt guided to share with you. But they can be on any kind of scale of intensity. It can be very mild, very intense, or somewhere in the middle. But the key here is, and here's what you can do about it. If you're noticing, if any of the things I just shared with you resonate with you, even just a tiny little bit, that means that your divine masculine is out of balance in that particular area. The first key thing is you want to become aware. Awareness is key, because if you don't have the awareness, well, you can't do nothing about it, right? You're going blind. You're not in control, so to speak, right? So if you have the awareness, that gives you somewhat of a control, because then you can do something about it. Because once you are aware, then you have a choice. You have somewhat of a power, because then you can do something about it. Then you can go a little deeper to uncover, well, what is causing this disharmony, that imbalance within your divine masculine energy? Get to the root of it. What is causing that? And then do some healing around it. Do some releasing around it. Let go of those negative patterns, or heal those negative patterns. Whatever is coming up, whatever you're uncovering, you want to do some healing around it, so you can step back into balance. You can step back into alignment. because then you can also make then the different choice. Once you have that awareness that yes, usually you're very much of a control freak, you need to know the outcome, you need to know all the steps, you need to, you know, be perfect or whatnot. Once you have those awarenesses, well, then you can make a different choice. Once you, of course, you know, dug a little deeper, did some cleansing and clearing and healing, and then you can say, okay, well, I know I usually respond in that way, I don't want to do that no more. Well, how can I respond in a better way, in a more aligned way? If you always go about life just always doing the things that you think you should do and that other people tell you, well, maybe then you wanted to kind of stop and then just kind of tune in, like, okay, what do I feel called to do? Not what do I think I should do, but what do I feel called to do? What resonates? What feels in alignment? And then do that. If you're always working really, really hard and you feel like you're maybe not getting anything done, well, maybe slow down a little bit. Go step into the flow, because when you're really in balance, everything is in flow. If you're always, let's say, procrastinating on things, well, work on your doubts. Work on those the limiting beliefs that are keeping you from really moving forward, and then take action. Count to 3 and just do it, right? Just to start taking actions, and even if it's just small steps, but then you have the choice to stop the procrastination and just do it, to trust more in yourself. So I hope this makes sense. I hope this helped you get some more clarity and maybe some insights into if your divine masculine is out of balance, and then also what you can do to start creating more harmony within your divine masculine energy, so you can step back into that alignment. Because once you're aligned, once your divine masculine is aligned, and oftentimes we are very much in the divine masculine energy, but the misaligned masculine energy. So you want to balance the divine masculine so you can be in harmony, that have that inner harmony, really still getting stuff done, still doing your work, but doing it in an aligned way, a harmonious way. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like button. Maybe leave me a comment below. Let me know, did you resonate with anything that I shared with you in this video about the science of a unbalanced divine masculine? I would love to know. Leave me a comment below. So thank you so much for being here. Now, one last final tip, what it can help you is starting a daily spiritual practice. And here's a video right here that I want to share with you where I talk a little bit more about that, the benefits of a daily spiritual practice that can help you in so many different ways. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Until then, make it an amazingly abundant and successful day. Namaste.